Hey Pioneer. Hey Sam.
Hmm.
Did you hear that a new update is coming out?
Yeah. And
A lot of people are going to start a new game.
yeah. Oh, you.
You should help them.
Yeah. Let's do that. Okay, folks. So, where should we start? Starting a new game in a game like Satisfactory always brings one problem with it, and that is the decision to what to do first. So, here are some steps I like to go through to get a good start into the game, and also some reasons behind them. There are, of course, thousands of ways to play the game. So if you don't like one, or if you think it doesn't matter to you, just skip them. So, just as a pre-gamer, I guess most people who are watching this video are going to be familiar with the game a little bit at least, and are going to take the fast start. But if you're playing the game first, just enjoy the game, do the regular start. It will explain nearly everything you need to play. The starting location you choose is up to you, by the way. It doesn't really impact the value of this tutorial, and it's only a starting location. The whole map is going to be the same no matter where you start, and you can have a good start everywhere. It's just to personal preferences. I personally like to start in the forest because I like the looks of and feels of it. But like I said, it doesn't matter in the end where you start. So the first thing I do is looking for the nearest iron node. I want to have 2 iron nodes together, but I don't care if they are pure, normal, or impure. At least not for the start. Also, we are going to look that there's a limestone and copper node close to that location. We are going to collect all leaves and foliage on our path. If you happen to pass on a crash site on the way, make sure you pick up the loot that's laying around, especially the modular frames, reinforced iron plates, wires, and cables, as well as the screws. All will come in handy at the start. Also, keep your eyes peeled for a green power slug. We will need it a bit later, so if you cross one, make sure you take it with you. The first thing we are going to do is to place the hub, followed by one constructor with a storage in front and behind it. Set the constructor to biomass leaves and connect it to power from the power mass burners in the hub. Feed the burner with wood and place your leaves in the storage. Now continue building the startup by placing a miner on 2 iron nodes. Follow those with a smelter, a constructor, as well as a container each. Those will give us the early iron nodes we need. Next, we are going to secure our concrete. There's never enough concrete. Place a miner on the closest limestone node, followed by a constructor and storage again. Our 2 biomass generators are going to be able to power both setups without a problem. If you haven't found any screws or cables on the way to that location, then it's time for our first expedition. We are going to look for near crash sites and loot them for the needed items. You can skip this part if you have 300 screws and 500-ish wires laying around. If not, collect at least the screws and wires and 10 reinforced iron plates, as well as 13 modular frames. I personally find it more interesting to find those stuff near crash sites than to handcraft them. Of course, if you like the handcrafting, it is always an option, don't be shy of it. If you are not sure where to find the crash sites though, go to the satisfactory-calculator.com website. There you will find an interactive map which will also show you where you find the crash sites. Look for HDDs in the map. When you come back, you're going to have everything for the first milestone, field research. Research it in the hub and build the MAM. Feed all alien organs and carapaces you have found so far into the MAM. They will make biomass crafting much faster in the future. Also, research green power slugs and overclock production. If you haven't found one, look around it now. You can also find locations on the interactive side, but there's always one near everywhere. Green power slugs are actually pretty common. I have a video guide on how to do that correctly linked up here. With the underclocking, we have enough energy now to build a miner, smelter, constructor, storage combination on a near copper node as well. This one will build us some wires. The 3 production lines we built will finally give us everything we regularly need for building research. We have no cables yet, but they are really easy to be crafted by hand, and you find them regularly on crash site as well. So I don't bother at this time with a constructor for them, especially because I want to keep the power consumption low because we still have to manually feed our biomass burner. So the next thing I like to do is to build myself some blade runners. I find them extremely helpful in the early game, and they are really not hard to craft. All we need to do is to dismantle the MAM and take it with us again, get some biomass out of the storage and find a Caterium node. Then quickly build a biomass burner, miner, smelter, constructor, and storage as usual. Now we can start researching the Caterium tree in the MAM. As soon as I get to the point where I can construct Caterium wires, I'll let it run for a bit and go to a near quartz node in the meantime. At the node, we will start the process of unlocking the map and the explorer. Both really useful things I prefer to have earlier than later, especially the explorer. Basically, we are going to do the same on the quartz node than we already did at the Caterium node. Except we don't need a smelter this time. Get in the MAM research to the point where you can unlock the quartz crystal production and then let it run for a while. Now it's time to go back to our Caterium and get the wires it has produced so far. With it, we should have everything to research and build the blade runners. Again, if you are missing the modular frames, go loot some crash sites. They are really plentiful there. You're going to be faster and able to jump higher now that you have the blade runners. That means you can actually jump over 4 meters high and can get on top of a wall or a 4-meter foundation, which is really useful in construction as well. Also, you're going to take less damage when falling. Also extremely helpful. The blade runners actually allow you to fall from any height as long as you are at full health. It's going to take you away about 95% of maximum health. It is time now to upgrade our home base a little bit. We need 1,000 screws for that project. So if you need some for this, again, loot some crash sites. It should be much easier now with the blade runners. We are going to research Tier 2 milestone obstacle clearing next, followed by Tier 1 logistics and Tier 2 part assembly. Our small biomass constructor gets refurbished to produce solid biofuel instead, as soon as we have the obstacle clearings milestone. If you need more biomass, handcrafted out of alien carapaces on organ you get from killing the aggressive natives. It should be much faster than collecting it by hand, and faster even than using the chainsaw. The logistics and part assembly milestones allow us to process some of those rods and plates we produce. The rods we are going to make into screws, which will become assembled together with the plates to make reinforced iron plates and a newly built constructor and an assembler. We are going to need additional biomass burner now too. The next step requires a small stockpile of 160 reinforced iron plates. You can either unlock the milestone base building and start to build and decorate your base, or you can again go out and find them near crash sites. When you got those together, get your quartz crystal from the small node setup we made earlier and go to the MAM. Unlock crystal oscillators and handcraft 40 of those. This should allow you to research signal technologies, the explorer, and frequency mapping, which gives you the map. You also should have enough oscillators left to build your first explorer. Yay! I like to fuel mine with batteries I found, but you can basically use anything. A good alternative to batteries, if you don't have them yet, is to just use the solid biofuel as well. The last thing I would to do is to research the resource sink bonus program at tier 2 and build a sink near the quartz node we use. We should have a good stockpile of crystals already, more than we're probably going to need for a while. So disconnect the storage and feed the crystals you produce directly into the sink. This will give you a good amount of points per minute for those early coupons. Now we are producing everything we need to build a new base, and are getting also some coupons for the stuff we want to have for that, like doors and conveyor belts. I personally like to use my explorers and blade runners now to go for a huge drop pod hunt. Try to get a good amount of hard drives. There's actually a lot of drop pods you should be able to unlock with just the loot you find around the crashed drop pods. The explorers gives you some safety, but most importantly, it gives you the speed to get those far away crash sites fast. I try to get between 10 and 20 hard drives with this hunt. When I have done that, our stockpile from all the little factories we built should be enough to really start building. And we have a big supply of drives for the alternate recipes we want for our real factory. And one more useful thing for those times we go out exploring with an explorer. I usually build 2 explorers. I have one that I use as a personal vehicle and go out for exploring, and I've set up one so it always teleports back to my hub as soon as I leave the explorer. If you want to know how to do that, I link a video where I explain it again in the top corner.
You should maybe give some general hints where to go from here.
Yeah, sure. So basically, most people trying to rush at that point to coal power to get rid of those biomass burners. And I totally understand that. But I do it a little bit different now. I'm going to play big at that point already. I'm going to place 20-30 smelters for iron ore, for copper. I'm going to build all those constructors for them. Again, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever I need in the late game, actually. And I calculate them so that I would max them out with the Mark 5 belts. But at this point, we only have Mark 1 or Mark 2 belts, of course. So what I actually do is to underclock the hell out of them. If you have seen my underclocking guide, you know exactly what I mean. So make sure you check that out. So that's the way I recommend to starting a new game of Satisfactory. I hope you find it useful. If you did, just subscribe and like my video. If you do something differently, comment, I would love to know it. If you have any more questions, try to catch one of my Twitch streams. I love to answer questions there as well, and it is sometimes really helpful to be able to show you this stuff. Last but not least, I want to thank you all for watching my videos and for all the support I give. And especially, of course, I want to thank my Patreons. All the support I get through you is really appreciated and is really helpful for me. So thank you so much. With that, bye bye and have fun gaming.